Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk to you about what Dropbox can learn from banks. Rather, from what banks can learn from Dropbox. So all of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Dropbox. This is a company that was launched in 2008 and quickly became one of the fastest growing startups in the tech community. So what Dropbox did was really inventive. They came up with this really mind-blowing concept, which is all about the ability to share files with other people. The files would be stored centrally in a cloud, and it would make collaborating on documents just huge, just much easier than it had been previously. And it was just something that had really never been done before. Well, actually, it had been done before, and this was invented, FTP, by a guy in 1971 named Abbe Bouchon. And it turns out that this file sharing thing really had been around and available to us. So it really wasn't that Dropbox helped us with file sharing. It was really all about the experience that they brought to file sharing that was fundamentally different than what we'd had before with FTP. So it's not this experience, and this is a Dropbox experience. If you guys have been on Dropbox, you log into the website, you've got this experience, but we've had this experience at least since the late 90s, right? So this wasn't novel. This isn't what made Dropbox cool or what made it go viral. The experience that made it go viral was this experience, the natively integrated experience with the operating system that made it so that the files are automatically shared and on your desktop without you having to do anything. No manual uploading, no downloading, no having to send somebody an email to let them know that you'd shared a file with them. You get these nice notifications that let you know, hey, the file is ready to go, and you have one little click to get to that file. That is fundamentally what Dropbox did that changed how we share files today, and Google Drive does that as well. And that user experience is fundamental and key to their success. So what does this all have to do with personal banking? Well, personal banking today in 2017 is giving us the FTP experience, the late 1990s experience that we've had in browsers. It literally hasn't changed. With this experience, we're doing things like logging onto our bank website, searching around for statements, searching our transactions, trying to find out what's going on with our personal bank accounts. And this experience could use a huge amount of improvement. So what are some of the things that we might want to do? What are some of the ways that we might improve that user experience? Well, for one thing, just simple notifications, the ability to be always logged on. Like, I'm always logged on to my bank on my phone, and I can get notifications on the phone, but weirdly, I can't do the same thing on the desktop. On the desktop, in order to find out what's going on, I actually need to be logged into my bank website. I don't understand why that's the case today, but it would be great if there were fraud and I were on my computer, if I could know that that was happening and I could have one click to say whether I recognize the charge or not. Similarly, it would be great if a bank could present an offer to me that might be relevant at the time. In this case, this would be letting me know that I'm pre-qualified for a credit card. Would I like to sign up? Yes or no? These are simple things that if you think about the experience today on the desktop, how would I find an offer like this? Would I log into the homepage, go into my inbox, which I don't know if you guys have done this, but it's something that I think people do rarely. And so usually where I would find an offer like this is in my email inbox, which is filled with all sorts of spam and which I usually don't pay a lot of attention to. So this is another huge improvement that you could make on the desktop. What about having your statements just sync to your desktop automatically so that when you need to share it with your accountant, you're not logging into the website and having to go search for it? It's a small thing, but it's actually one of the reasons why I log into the bank website a lot is to go get my bank statement. It'd be great if I didn't have to do that. How about not having to wait on a call for 10 minutes just to speak to a human. The chat experience is something that actually is available in browser, but the reality is it's not great in browser, right? The in-browser chat experience is, leaves a lot to be desired. It would be great if I could just have one click, start speaking to a human, and have the chat experience that I normally expect. This is not something I'm getting from my bank today, and would be terrific. Another thing we could do is have a desktop app that actually synced all of my transactions in real time to the app where they are, where the transactions are locally available in an encrypted cache, so that I could have fast access to those transactions. The searching of those transactions becomes super easy and super fast, and I could also get access to all that information offline if I wanted to. Right? So having that real desktop app experience could have a lot of those kinds of offline benefits as well. What about having an entire app store, right? The ability to have both apps delivered by a bank or third-party apps delivered by others that are linked to my bank account, right? Those are things that would completely change my banking experience and engage me in a completely different way that I'm engaged by my bank right now. So these are all things that are possible with a native desktop experience, and things that are reachable today for personal banking. But why stop at personal banking? What about wealth management? What about corporate banking? These are areas where there are huge opportunities for innovation, and where, frankly, there has not been a ton of innovation on the desktop. The vast majority of the innovation that's happened so far in these areas has really been on the phone. Right, and that represents a massive opportunity for really not just the biggest banks in the world today, but also for the new entrants and the challengers. So in the days of .NET and Java and C++, delivering this kind of native desktop experience would have come with a huge amount of development, install, upgrade, and maintenance complexity. And that's really why I think firms have not done this in the past. Today, with HTML5 and OpenFin, that complexity has been completely eliminated. And so that creates the opportunity for banks to take a page out of the Dropbox playbook and completely reimagine the desktop banking experience. Thank you.